Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sports Centre YouTube channel. So I'm here today with Carl, and today we are going to talk about Spurs.
Mhm.
Do we need to do a bit of a disclaimer first, Carl, before we upset any Spurs fans, do you think?
This is just our opinion. Don't take it
Yeah.
to heart. We might
So
be
we
wrong, but this is just our opinion.
yeah. So the kind of moral of the subject really came about as what we were saying the other day. There's this old saying in there that Spurs are Spursy. You know, it's kind of it's a running joke now that this word Spursy has come about. Um, and Postecoglou's coming this season. Spurs are playing, you know, arguably probably one of the most entertaining teams to watch in the league. Would you say, Carl, this season?
I would definitely say so. They are good to watch. A little frustrating at times, but they're
Yeah.
entertaining.
But I wanted to kind of dig a little deeper. So, as much as they've got the entertaining football, but actually, have they progressed at all over the? Well, I said I wanted to go back about 5 years, didn't I, before we started this? But I'm going to kind of jolt back quickly to around about 10 years. So, and the only reason I want to do that is because 10 years ago is when Poch came in, and
Yep.
he had 5 years at Spurs. So I thought, well, let's have a quick dive into what he not
What he
really
did.
what he did, but yeah, like where they ended up. So I've got some stats in front of me here, and it takes us up to match day 33, which is where we are at the moment. So we're comparing apples for apples. We're going from you like that one, dear Carl.
It's all right. I've heard better.
So we're going to compare as to where they actually are today and where they was on this day or on this match day going back 10 some years ago. So Potts came in and his first season was the 14-15 season. So I'm going to basically group all his seasons together, if you like. So he was there until November 2019. So his runnings are as follows. So we'll go from the 14-15 season first. He finished sixth in his first season.
Yeah.
Then, so straight away outside the Champions League. Then after that, he finished second, third, and third. So straight away,
Yeah.
what jumps out is he's
Close.
consistently getting them in the Champions
Progr-
League.
progressing.
Yeah. And I think as well, it's for me as well, one thing that always stood out with me with Poch was he had a young squad and he always seemed to get the most out of young players.
Yeah, good man management. He's talking. You look at like Harry Kane, Dele Alli. They all loved him, loved playing for him. They'll do that extra bit for him.
Yeah,
Just a
exactly.
good manager.
And also, let's not forget, at the end of, well, sorry, the end of the 2019 season, he got him into a Champions League final.
If you remember the semi final. It was, I think, am I right in saying it was the same year as when Liverpool got the comeback against Barca? Is that the same year?
Uh, yes,
Didn't you?
because
Because you played him at final, didn't you? And it was a boring final.
yeah,
But
we played
both
him at final.
semi-finals were both
We got,
semi-finals were amazing.
yeah, they played, was it Ajax?
It might have been, yeah, good
And
call.
Lucas Moura got a hat trick, didn't he?
That's right.
Because don't quote me on this, but did they get City in the quarterfinals? And there was that goal from Raheem Sterling really late on, and it got chalked off by VAR for some absolutely. It was a soft. Like I said, don't quote me, but I think it was like a soft foul, and it was minutes before the actual ball went in the back of the net. I think.
Right. I can't remember that far. My memory's done.
But I mean, we're going off track a bit. But straight away, what jumps out at me is he's consistent in where he's been finishing in the league. So one straight away, he's getting in them. He's getting them in the top four consistently. So they're getting regular Champions League football, which you know, no disrespect to Tottenham, it's no mean. You know, it's not to be sniffed at. That is it really? Because you've seen
Absolutely not.
teams. My own team, Liverpool. You know, up until maybe when Klopp came in the door, we were very much like Spurs. We were in the Champions League for maybe a season. We
Out
were
of
out of
it,
it for
in of
two
it.
or
Yeah,
three. In of it, Arsenal, bloody, they used to treat the Champions League as bloody trophies, didn't they? And
well, that's what Wenger said, didn't he? He actually did say that.
yeah, and then they went so many years out of it. So he's done well there straight away to come in, take a young Spurs side, and as well, I think it's worth pointing out he completely changed how they played football. There was an entertaining team to watch under
They
Poch.
were, yeah, they were.
Um, so going into his, I'm going to call it his last season. Then in the 1920s, he got sacked in November 19, and within 24 hours, Mourinho came in, and then he had 2 seasons there with Spurs, and he finished 8th and 7th. So straight away, they've obviously taken a dip, and I think we all safe to say with Mourinho, he's a bit of a dinosaur with his tactics, isn't he?
It's old school. He didn't used to be like that though at Chelsea, did he? As soon as he left Chelsea first time, it says like he just changed and it became park the bus. And that what became famous for it, park the bus, boring football.
He had the players at Chelsea though to do it, didn't he? He had the players to be able to keep the back doors shut, and then he had your match winners like Robin, Drogba,
Duff, Drogba,
and yeah, to be
Lampard.
able
Yeah.
to go up the other end and do that. And again, no disrespect to Spurs fans, but he didn't have that at Spurs. He didn't
And
have that squad of players as good as what he had at Chelsea to be able to do those things. So I think
he didn't
it's
have the
important to factor that into it.
he didn't have the money either, did he? Everywhere he's gone, he's had money, and he didn't have the money. He went there to this brand new stadium, just moved in. He's thinking, all right, we're going to kick on here, and
Yeah,
obviously Daniel Levy didn't provide him with anything. To be fair to him, but it wasn't what it was going to be, and it just turned into the most boring football.
yeah.
Horrendous.
He must have known that though when he was taking the job. He must have had the conversation and said, "Look, how much money am I going to have to spend?"
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So obviously a big tail off there going from Poch to Mourinho. But I think one thing worth pointing out, he got him to a cup final, and they
Which
literally go on
which he should have been. He didn't actually get to the final, did he? He got them there, but he got sacked, didn't it? Before the final,
with
and
days before, I think, on it.
would you class that as a Spursy thing to do? Get rid of a manager who's got you there, who's a serial winner.
Well, this was one thing that I could not wrap my
I
brains
don't
around.
think
I'm just thinking,
I don't
if I were
think any
Daniel
football
Levy,
fan could understand.
yeah, if you're going to get rid of him, fair enough, get rid of him. But no disrespect against Tottenham, but you Tottenham Hotspur, you haven't won a trophy for God knows how long. You're crying out for trophies, and you've got, like you say, a serial winner in a manager there, and you get rid of him days before a cup final, which he would have probably got. I don't know who they played, but he probably would have got you over the, or
A,
if not close to
a
over the
boring
line.
a boring 1-0 win would have got you that
Yeah.
cup, and that would have been Mourinho all over. And then you can say, "See you later, you're gone."
But the thing is, would you even, if you were from a Tottenham point of view, would you have been bothered if you were boring one? No, you'd look back at it and
You
say,
won.
we've got a trophy in cabinet.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So big mistake there for me. Big mistake, and I'm sure there were loads of politics going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to. But yeah, stupid decision that. Moving on from Mourinho, then you had the Conte era, and
When did am I getting my? When did Nuno Espirito Santo come in? Was that before Conte?
I believe it was, but he literally had a couple of
Few minutes.
games, didn't he?
You were dreadful. You
So
were. He was not a Spurs manager. He did not. He wasn't up to that standard to be able to manage a club of Tottenham sort of size.
so Nuno came in after Jose. So Mason took over as interim caretaker, whatever you want to call it. There's fucking new names for that kind of stuff coming out every bloody week. But think it sounds of it. But yeah, Mason took him over to end of season after Jose. Then in June 21, that's when Nuno came in. And it's safe to say that it didn't last very long. Just 10 Premier League games he lasted. But then they got Conte. Got Conte,
Another serial winner.
yeah, and he took him.
Very
He took,
very pragmatic. Very know what you're getting with an Italian manager.
yeah, yeah,
Defensive football, defensively solid, but boring as hell. So it's just another
boring.
Mourinho.
And he did get him to fourth in the league. So he actually got him. He got him back into the Champions League. To be fair to him, but he pretty
That's
much got himself sacked, didn't he, by that some of those interviews he were giving out.
fantastic to watch from anyone who wasn't a Spurs fan. But
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
Spurs fan, you'd just be like, "Fucking hell! Will you give up embarrassing me?"
yeah. And
He was
then
just
Ryan
calling,
Mason, go
just
on.
calling. Were he just calling Levy out, and well, pretty much calling Levy
Yeah,
out
we're
all the
pretty much
time.
calling Levy out. Yeah, when he was just saying the players aren't good enough. But on that note, what he just basically saying, what everyone knew all along, was that the squad isn't good enough to be able to compete in where probably
You
many
want it to
Spurs
be
fans and Daniel Levy wants to be. Because don't
true.
forget, at the time, you're competing against an unbelievable Man City side. You're competing against an unbelievable Liverpool side, and that's not me being biased. This is probably
No,
the
it's
best
true.
Liverpool
It's true.
side that's been for however many years, especially in my lifetime. So straight away, you've got two Champions League
Juggernauts.
spaces pretty much locked off there. So then you're fighting the likes of United, Chelsea, Arsenal, obviously emerging again for
Yeah,
those Champions League spots. So for him to get him back in there after a couple of seasons out of it, is a decent job, really.
yeah.
And then obviously beginning of this season, you've got Postecoglou, which, you know, I think the dramatic change in the style of play had Spurs fans licking their lips, didn't it?
Yeah,
But I feel
it
as
did.
though they're coming a bit unstuck now. My
Well,
personal opinion.
I just think what have they achieved? They've gone from other than they're watching decent football now. They've gone from decent football to boring football to decent football, but not moved anywhere. They're still going along that flat line. They're in around third, fourth, fifth, sixth. They're not. They're not. What have they done apart from just watching? Sorry, watching better style of football. They're not winning anything, are they?
Well, here's a good stat for
And
you, Carl. Here's a good stat for you that I've just picked up here. So in terms of Mourinho, Mourinho's last season, Conte's season, and now Postecoglou, all match day 33. So bearing in mind everyone labelled Mourinho and Conte as these boring, pragmatic managers, Mourinho had a goal difference of plus 18. Conte had a goal difference of plus 21. And Ange has got a goal difference of plus 16. So he's actually got a worse goal difference.
that's what I mean. Like, be careful what you wish for sometimes.
Isn't it? I think so. That's kind of the argument that we're bringing to the table is like you've got better football, yeah, but you're actually no better off really
than
than
what you were.
than what you were. Obviously, after the Poch era,
Yeah.
you've not really, excuse me, they've not really moved forward apart from obviously a couple of seasons with Mourinho where you finished 8 and 7. But after that, you still just Spurs.
It's still Spurs, and they don't seem to be. So then they go and sell the best striker that's been, I think, top scorer for the last 9 seasons or 10 seasons or whatever it is. They go and sell him. So in effect, they're only going to knock themselves back a little bit. So at what point do they think by selling the best player, if that's going to help them to go and win a trophy in next season or season two later? It's just again, is that a Spursy thing to do?
Possibly. Like you were just saying, then it's I suppose it's a case of be careful what you wish for. And look, I can imagine, I've seen a lot of dross in my time at Liverpool. I've seen some absolute garbage players come through the door, and I've seen us play some absolutely dire football. So I can understand in a way why they feel like they feel, but it's similar to what we were talking about with the West Ham thing the other day. What do you want to do? Do you want to see good football, but potentially you're going to see win, lose, and draw? It could be an absolute lottery in terms of the result.
Yep.
Or do you want to see managers come in, keep the back door closed, and win more games than what you're going to lose?
I get what you're saying, and I do agree because that's it. That's exactly what we put to at West Ham. But it's sort of proven with Tottenham. It doesn't matter which way you go, whether you get the good, the attractive football or the unattractive football. They're still not moving anywhere. They're still along that line. In that barrier
definitely.
of between probably third and sixth, third and seventh.
And I suppose the one thing to maybe look at from a Spurs fan is with Postecoglou there now. I suppose it's the starting to this is his first season. It's his first season in the Prem. It's his first season, getting used to our calendar. Yeah, the Tottenham way. Obviously, English football. You've seen many managers many players come and go that don't get used to the Premier League till maybe 12, 18 months into the career. So, if we're going to kind of critique, we've also got to give us props as well. And I think definitely, he's done well. But I think he's got a lot to learn, and especially, I know one standout performance was that, I think it was against Chelsea, where he went down to 9 men, and they were still playing a high line, and it was just like, come on, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah, it definitely need to. I think they lose with it 4-2 or something like that.
Yeah, they kept it tight for quite a while, but then all of a sudden it was just like the conceded one and the floodgates were open. Yeah,
that were naive.
Very naive, mate.
Because when you're playing for Celtic, you could probably get away with that. Or managing Celtic, you can probably get away with that.
Yeah,
not in Prem, mate. Not in the Prem.
No. But yeah, let's see how we go. Like I say, I think that's the saving grace. I think for Spurs fans, it's like they are getting good football, and it is potentially the start of something good. They've got the foundation there, and they've got the stadium there. They've got potentially a good manager there. The Spurs fans are getting behind him, so potentially the future's bright. But as it stands right now, they haven't really gone anywhere. But I suppose only time will tell.
That's absolutely right. I completely agree.
Sound. Well, Vikal, another episode in the bag for the Sports Centre.
Onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards, mate. Thanks for watching, guys. If you can like the content and give it a share, that's much appreciated. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. See you later.